Bonjour from north of the border in Quebec City, Canada. It's Evansville Otters baseball on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Good evening, everyone. Happy Memorial Day weekend back in the States. The Otters have traveled north to Canada to take on the Quebec Capitales, the defending champs in the Frontier League. I'm Griffin Epstein. We'll have your action all weekend long here in beautiful Quebec City. The first place Otters trying to take down the defending champs here in French-speaking Quebec. We've made our way around town with our limited French, but it is a beautiful city and a beautiful ballpark, and we're in for a great three-game series and are moments away from first pitch. Quick recap on the week so far for the Otters. This long six-game road trip started at New Jersey. The Otters won the first two games in definitive fashion, 12-0 on Tuesday, before holding off a late Jackals rally Wednesday for an 8-7 victory. However, their 8-game win streak snapped one short of tying the franchise record. They fell 6-3 yesterday. So the Otters 9-3 on the season, 8 wins in their last 9. They're a game up on Gateway in the Frontier League West. Quebec on the other side, 4-7 on the season, a disappointing start for the defending champs. However, they're coming off their first series win of the year. They played just 2 games in a series here against Empire State and won both games, so they're coming in on a 2-game win streak, their first win streak of the season. We're ready for baseball. Noah Myers will lead things off for the Otters. His first pitch is on the outside corner, and we're underway. Ruben Ramirez, the righty, is the starter for the Capitales on this Friday night, making his second start of the season as he fires a pitch outside for a ball, 1-1. Very quick worker. The 1-1 is outside by Ramirez, 2-1. Beautiful evening for baseball. 70 degrees, cloudy skies, though it's been sunny for most of the day. Somewhat windy, blowing across the diamond from right to left. The 2-1 pitch is fouled straight back by Myers, 2-2. Temperatures which have been getting very cold in Canada the last few nights, including last night when we got in. Not too bad tonight. They'll stay in the mid-60s. The 2-2 sails outside and a full count. Really ideal conditions for baseball tonight and a really big crowd here in Quebec City. The payoff pitch is slice foul, and Myers off to a good fight here with Ramirez. Second start of the season for Ruben Ramirez, who went 6 1/3, allowing just 1 run in his first start. The 3-2 on the outside corner. Check swing by Myers. Did he go around? No, says third base umpire Jonathan Fillon. So Myers works a first pitch walk and gives us a chance to introduce the starting lineup for the Otters. Myers leading off and playing right field. Ethan Skinder bats second and plays second base. Dakota Phillips bats third and catches. Kona Quiggle in the cleanup spot playing center field. Jacob Olsen bats fifth and plays first base. Troy Viola bats sixth and plays third base. Bottom 3 in the lineup, Jarrell McDade, the DH, making his debut for the Otters in Canada. Brian Rosario, the right fielder, batting 8th. George Khalil, the shortstop, batting 9th. Skinder, is the batter. He swung and missed at the first pitch. Now the 0-1 misses inside from Ramirez. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 on here in the top of the first. We're just underway from Quebec City. Beautiful evening for baseball. Ramirez stops off, tosses over to first, and Myers back in safely. Peering over his shoulder is Ramirez, but Myers goes anyways as Skinder pops it up. On the infield behind home plate is the catcher Sickett, and he can't make the catch. Bounced off the edge of his glove right along the netting and the backstop. Sickett in just his 3rd professional game. Just signed at the beginning of the week by the Capitales. Couldn't hold on. A break there for Skinder. Here comes the 1-2 from Ramirez. Skinder swings and drives one into center field. This ball will get down for a base hit. One hopping in front of Lacroix, the center fielder, and the Otters have 2 on with nobody out here on the top of the first. Around the diamond for the Capitales tonight, Jordan Sickett, the catcher, TJ White at third, Kyle Crowell at short, David Glode at second, and Jeremy Profar, yes, that's the brother of Jurickson Profar, the MLBer at first, Marc-Antoine Leblanc in right, Jonathan Lacroix in center, and Adon Fernandez is in left. Quebec in their home whites today. The Otters in their road blue tops with gray pants. So 2 on and nobody out for Dakota Phillips. The catcher takes the first pitch high. Catching a lively crowd here tonight. The stands are mostly full at the Stade Canuck. Expecting big crowds all week. Here comes the 1-0 on the outside corner, 1-1. It's an artificial turf field all around here in Quebec, but the Otters certainly well used to that after playing 3 games at Hinchliffe in New Jersey, also on an artificial surface. This is a much more normal dimensions, though, ballpark. The 1-1 on the outside corner again. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Phillips. 2 on for the Otters with nobody out here in the top of the first. Just underway. Baseball north of the border here in Quebec City. Alrighty, Ramirez, a long look in, sets at the belt, peeks back at Myers at second, kicks and throws. Phillips swings, drives one into right. Over is Antoine Leblot, and he makes the catch. 1 away. Nukes a ball down to third base to make sure Myers wasn't going anywhere. That was quite a throw from right field. Threw that on the money to third. Myers, right decision to stay put at second. So 1 away here in the top of the first. He'll bring up Kona Quiggle, the center fielder, with 2 on and 1 out. You might notice, looking at the lineup, 2 big names not in the lineup today for the Otters, Omar Reyes and Jeffrey Baez. Neither of them have made the trip here north to Canada, so the Otters will be without them this weekend, and they'll be back in Evansville to resume playing for the Otters on Tuesday. As Dakota Phillips takes the first pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. So I mentioned Jarrell McDade, the DH today for the Otters, batting 7th. One of those guys stepping in, just signed by the Otters to fill those missing players. The 1-0 catches the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. The Otters looking to start a new win streak. Their 8 in a row snapped yesterday. First ever trip here to Quebec City. The 1-1. Swing and a miss by Phillips. Or excuse me, by Quiggle, 1-2. Andy McCauley is actually making his return here to Quebec. He was a manager here for 1 season back when the team here in Quebec was in the Northern League. Here comes the 1-2. It's inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. What an atmosphere this is. The fans are really dialed in on this Friday night. Every pitch, some boos as home plate umpire Yves Lemontage called it outside. Comes the 2-2. Breaking ball is high and a full count. Full count to Quiggle with 2 on and 1 out here in the top of the first. A rowdy, spirited atmosphere at the Stade Canuck. Here comes the payoff. It's outside for ball 4. Quiggle works a walk, and the Otters have the bases loaded. This team just loves to get on opponents early. The Otters have scored in the first inning in 9 of 12 games this season, and 8 of their 9 wins have come when scoring in the first. You'd think this would be the last day you'd expect it, with a late night game last night against the New Jersey Jackals. Bus ride overnight up to Quebec. Everyone's a little bit tired in a new country, but the Otters a chance to score again here in the first as Jacob Olsen, the batter, takes the first pitch slider on the outside corner for a strike. Bases loaded for Evansville here on the top of the first. Ramirez winds and throws. Swing and a miss by Olsen. 0-2. Ramirez in his first season here with Quebec, native of the Dominican Republic, highly touted pitcher who was in the Royals organization 2 different times. The 0-2, breaking ball at the knees, strike 3. That was MLB quality stuff from Ramirez. A breaking ball buckled Olsen, and there's 2 away. So Troy Viola, the third baseman, comes to the play with the bases still loaded and 2 outs. I love this. Out in right field is the scoreboard, but it's all manual, so there's literally a man sitting out on a chair out there as Viola swings and fouls the first pitch off straight back. It's got a wood chair, little ledge on the edge of the scoreboard, and balls, strikes, and outs are being put up with little lights. Someone's controlling that back in the press box, but he's got all the cards for innings, hits, runs, and errors. Viola will call time and reset with the bases loaded. And he's also got a K counter out there as well. Eight strikeouts means free poutine if I'm reading my French is good enough. Comes the 0-1. Fouled straight back 0-2. Myers is at third. Skinder is at second. Quiggle is at first here in the top of the first with 2 outs. Scoreless between the Capitales and the Otters. Ramirez winds and throws. Viola pops one up into right. Back is LeBlanc, and he makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. The Otters threaten in the top of the first, load the bases, but they can't score. We go to the bottom of the 1st inning, where we'll see Zach Smith on the bump for Evansville. You're listening to Otters Baseball on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Welcome back to Quebec City, Canada. The Otters' first and only trip this year north of the border to take on the defending champs, the Quebec Capitales. Go to the bottom of the 1st inning, scoreless here at the Stade Canuck. On the mound tonight for the Otters, it's Zach Smith making his 3rd start of the season. The native of Katy, Texas, has been superb for the Otters on the bump. 2 starts, 14 innings pitched. He's 2-0. He has not allowed an earned run on the season. And his last outing might have been the best start by any Otter all year. Last Saturday against Trois-Rivières, he went 8 innings, allowing no runs and striking out 7 Eagles. It was a spectacular performance last Saturday night from Smith. He likes the big lights, and he'll get it again here in front of a big crowd. He winds and throws his first pitch up north in Canada, sails outside for a ball, and we're underway in the bottom of the 1st. Marc-Antoine Leblanc, the right fielder, leading things off here for the Capitales. Lefty batter swings and pops it up, slams down his bat on the ground. High in the air, back is the shortstop Skinder under it, or Khalil, excuse me, to make the catch 1 away. And Antoine Leblanc on the first pitch was not happy. He slammed down his bat, and he's not going to even get it. The little ball boy and bat boy is going to have to run after it and pick it up for him. So a quick first out for Smith to try to settle in here in Canada. TJ White, the 3rd baseman, comes to the plate. First pitch is in for a strike to White, the 3rd baseman. Batting righty, one of the Americans on this squad from Las Vegas. Smith looking in. Kicks and throws. Breaking ball outside, 1-1. So around Smith on the diamond today. Dakota Phillips is the catcher. Jacob Olson at first. Ethan Skinder at second. George Khalil at short after a day off yesterday. And Troy Viola also got the day off yesterday, is at 3rd. You love the defensive prowess of that left side of the infield. The 1-1 sails high for a ball, and it's 2-1. Noah Myers in left. Kona Quiggle in center. And Brian Rosario in right field. Smith on the right side of the rubber. The black glove winds and throws. Swing and a miss by White. And a pitch up in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sun peeking in and out behind the clouds. Starting to set. A little past 7:20 local time here in Quebec City. Blustery and pleasant. The 2-2 is high. And a full count to White. Smith, in his first 2 starts of the season, opponents are hitting just 163 against him, and he has just 1 walk to 14 strikeouts. 7 strikeouts in his first 2 appearances apiece. Comes the payoff. Fouled straight back by White. Historic stadium here at the Stade Canuck. Kind of a little bit similar to Bossy Field in terms of grandstands, almost all the way down the field on both sides. Here comes the payoff. It's low for ball 4. That is just the second walk that Smith has thrown all year, and now his 15th inning of work. So TJ White aboard, and it will bring up the lefty second baseman, David Glod. Quebec City native, returner to this reigning champs Capitales squad. Off to a slow start this year, but after 2 games winning this year, trying to build some momentum, Glod lays down a bunt, and it goes foul down the third base line. No score between the Otters and the Capitales on this Friday night, the capital city of the Quebec province. It was 8 hours or so, the bus ride from Paterson, New Jersey last night to Quebec City this morning. We got in shortly after 7 a.m. After leaving around 10:30 or so. Glode takes outside 1-1 with 1 out and 1 on in the bottom of the first. We're scoreless. Smith at the belt, looks in, kicks and throws. Glode swings and drives one high down the first base line, and bouncing foul. Right in front of the wall. Glode just missed one. And Smith has not given up an earned run on the season in 14 innings pitched. He's been as cool as a cucumber, and he was certainly today. There was a little bit of chaos just getting into Quebec and being in a new country, and Smith coming to the ballpark was nothing but calm and relaxed and comfortable. The 1-2 was outside 2-2. It's probably the toughest start he's going to make all year in a different country with a different language after a night of sleep on the bus. If he can pitch well tonight, he can pitch well in any conditions. Here comes the 2-2. Inside and a full count to Glode. Smith looking into Phillips. He shakes off the first 2 Steins, and now he's going to step off and reset the pitch clock, which is prominently displayed out in right center field. Here comes the payoff. Slow chopper left side, charging on is Khalil. Oh, he thinks about going to second. Realizes he doesn't have a play, stumbles, and now he doesn't have a play anywhere. Just has to hand the ball back to the pitcher, Zach Smith. You rarely see a mistake from George Khalil at short, but I think the best play for Khalil was to throw just to first and not even think about second. He got a little too ambitious, picked up the slow chopper, looked to second to possibly get White, and realized he didn't have a play there, and he had ran out of time to then throw to first as well. So just like that, there's 2 on with 1 out. And a little bit of trouble here for Smith in the bottom of the first as he faces Jeremy Profar, the first baseman. Profar swings at the first pitch, grounds it to Khalil. Underhand toss to second for 1 to first. In time, double play. 6-4-3 double play. How about making up for your mistake on the very next pitch, George Khalil? Makes the mistake on a grounder that he should have just thrown to first. Ate up a baseball. Funny how baseball works. Grounds right back to him, and he turns the 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. So we're through 1 scoreless here in Quebec City. Listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network and simulcast on Flow Sports. Welcome back to the Stat Connect. We go to the top of the second inning. First pitch to Jarrell McDade is swung on and popped up left side. Over is the left fielder, Adon Fernandez in the Otters bullpen, and he makes the catch. First pitch of McDade's Otters debut is a pop out to left field. So one away brings up Brian Rosario here in the top of the second. We're scoreless in Quebec City. The Friday night opener between the defending champions, the Capitales, and the first place team in the Frontier League right now, the Otters. Brian Rosario takes the first pitch outside for a ball from Ruben Ramirez. Otters loaded the bases in the first but couldn't score. The 1-0 missing outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Yesterday, the first time that the Otters had led in a game and did not end up winning. The 2-0 is slice foul, 2-1. Ramirez with a beige glove today. High set as he winds and throws a breaking ball inside, and it's 3-1. Otters' 5th inning yesterday was their kryptonite. 4 runs scored for the Jackals gave them a lead they never relinquished. The 3-1, outside for ball 4. Rosario works a walk. That is already the 3rd walk by Ruben Ramirez. So control certainly an early issue for the Puerto Rican native, grad of Point Park University, NAIA school in Pittsburgh. Had just 1 walk to 5 strikeouts in his 6 1/3 strong innings. He pitched in his first outing for the Capitales. Didn't factor into the decision. And the catcher, Jordan Saquette, out to share a few words with Ramirez and try to calm him down after 3 walks. And yet to get an out here in the second. Ramirez, 2 different outings, set times. He was with the Royals in 2021 and then again in 2022. Made it up to high as high A last year. Quad City River Bandits in Iowa. Now here in Indy ball with the Capitales for his first season as the first pitch to George Khalil is in for a strike, 0-1. Swing and a miss by Khalil, and it's 0-2. One on with 1 out here in the top of the second. An 0-2 count to George Khalil on a lovely night for baseball here in Quebec City. The 0-2, slice foul and out of play. Clanks off a red seat, and a couple lucky fans just have to reach back and snare it. As mentioned before, though, great crowd tonight. Probably 60 to 70% full. Runner goes as Khalil chops one foul, and Rosario, who had 5 stolen bases in the first 3 in the 3-game series in New Jersey. Probably had one there, but he'll have to return to first base now. About for a good hour and a half before the game, there was a full-on kind of outdoor concert, food and drink mingle down the third base line. Guitarist was having a lot of fun. The 0-2 swung on and missed by Khalil. Fastball blown right by him, 2 away. But back to the top of the order in Myers with Rosario still at first and 2 outs here in the top of the second. It was a one-man band playing his guitar down the third baseline out on a little patio. And he was really in, I don't know if he got his music from learning it at a summer camp or what, but he was just going camp song after camp song, which was interesting to hear in French-speaking Canada and Quebec. Ramirez steps off, check it over to first. Rosario back in safely. First pitch to the lefty Myers. Rosario goes. Throw down to second is a good one, but Rosario too fast. He beats it out. Saquette with a on-the-money throw. Rosario is a speedster on the bases, and he's still yet to be thrown out this year. Now 8 for 8 stealing bags. So Rosario's in scoring position now with 2 outs. 1-0 count to the Canadian native Noah Myers. First pitch to, or the 1-0 to Myers, I should say, is low and bounces away from Saquette. Back to the backstop, and it's 2-0. So Rosario goes down to third, stole second, advances on the pass ball to third. 2 outs and a 2-0 count to Noah Myers. Myers takes a big deep breath and comes home. Myers sprays it foul, 2-1. So the guitarist down the third base line, it was a lot of camp songs, and it was amusing to hear in Quebec in Canada, playing West Virginia, Country Roads, of course, about West Virginia, playing Boys of Summer, attempted acoustic remix of Boys of Summer. The 3-0 is sliced straight back, and it's 3-1. Had some other old, very, very American camp song classics, singing in a French accent here in Quebec. It's 2-2 as Myers fouls one back again. Oh, did he make the catch? No, he didn't. It fell right into his seat, in fact. The net does not go far at all here in Quebec. There's going to be a ton of foul balls in the seats. You got to be very alert if you're sitting high up in the grandstands down either line as the 2-2's outside. It just goes to the start of the dugouts on both the first and third base line, the nets. If you're sitting right by the field, you're protected by a lower net, but you're in the upper section down either line. There's no net at all in front of you. From behind the dugouts down past the first and third bases, Myers again fouls one off. And what it does is it deflects off the net behind the backstop, and then it bounces into the stands. So even balls that are hit off the netting behind home plate, the way the net is positioned, are bouncing right into the stands. Constant souvenirs. And Cappy, the mascot, he's a lion for the Capitales, has nearly been hit a couple times already. Playing around with some fans right now. Another payoff to Myers, inside for ball 4. Back-to-back walks on long at-bats for Noah Myers to start his evening off. Both of them working walks on full counts. Great, great start to his return to his native land, Noah Myers. So runners on the corners with 2 outs, and Ethan Skinder to the plate. He has the lone base hit for the Otters so far today. Rosario at third, Myers at first. Sun peeking out behind the clouds as Ramirez fires one home. Ground ball to Skinder to the second base bag. Glow tosses to Crowell, who steps on that bag for the third out of the inning. So the Otters get a runner 90 feet away for the second straight inning, but can't score. And we'll go to the bottom of the second, scoreless from Quebec City. Welcome back to Quebec City, about 2 hours north of Montreal, 2.5 hours north of the New York border. It's a beautiful evening for baseball. Scoreless between the Otters and the Capitales. Zach Smith out for his second inning of work. First pitch fouled away by Kyle Crowell, the shortstop, here in the bottom of the second inning. Both teams threatened The first inning, Otters loaded the bases, and Capitales had 2 on. Otters again got a runner to third in the second, but still couldn't score. The 0-1 sails high for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Griffin Epstein here on the Otters Digital Network, and simulcast tonight on Flow Sports. If you're just listening on the Otters Digital Network, but you have a Flow Sports subscription, you can tune in tonight. Comes the 1-1, breaking ball on the outside corner, 1-2. You get the Quebec pictures done by the excellent production team here in Quebec City in the Capitales, and we'll get my English voiceover instead of the French broadcast, though if you understand French, they're doing a great job here in French. I would not understand it. The 1-2, check swing and a pitch low in the dirt. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Actually, no, he didn't. Check that. He didn't go around, but it was. No, he did. Okay, he did go around. The signals were confusing by our home plate umpire. He used La Montagne behind home plate, who's got a confusing last name to say, too. It will go down as a strikeout for Crowley. Went around on a pitch in the dirt, and then Phillips tagged him out. That's what happened. So the first strikeout for Smith with 1 away here in the bottom of the second, and it brings up Jonathan Lacroix, the center fielder. Smith on the right side of the rubber, winds and throws outside of Lacroix. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're scoreless in the bottom of the second from Quebec City. Zach Smith trying to maintain his perfect 0.00 ERA. The 1-1 from Smith. Swung on and hit high in the air to left field. Back is Myers at the track. He makes the catch, staring into the late evening sunshine. Noah Myers, what a start to the ball game. 2 excellent walks worked, and then a incredibly difficult catch in left field with most of the field cloaked in shadow, but he went back all the way to the wall, staring right into the setting sun to the west, and makes the catch along the warning track. So 2 away with nobody on, and it brings up Adon Fernandez, the left fielder. He takes the first pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Smith made his first 2 starts at Bossy Field as here comes the 1-0. Breaking ball on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. This is first start on the road and doing it out of the country for the Katy, Texas native. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss by Fernandez, 1-2. Fastball high in the zone. They do have Yakkertech here at the stadium working to get those numbers up on the laptop so it can start telling you miles per hour. Hopefully they're in miles per hour, not kilometers per hour. I won't have much of a clue of what's a good kilometers per hour pitch. Here comes the 1-2. It's low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Fernandez here in the bottom of the second. Scoreless between the Otters and the Capitales in this first game of 3 here in Quebec City. Smith at the belt, winds and throws outside for a ball. Check swing by Fernandez, but the left fielder held up. Full count, payoff pitch from Smith to Fernandez. Here it comes, high for ball 4. Patient plate approach by Fernandez, and after Smith had just 1 walk through his first 14 innings pitched in his first 2 starts. He had 2 early walks here in Quebec City, not yet through 2 innings. Brings up Justin Gideon, the designated hitter tonight. Another lefty batter in this lineup for Patrick Scalabrini's squad. 1 on with 2 out. Smith tried to work a scoreless second as his first pitch to Gideon sails outside. 1-0. Short lead for Fernandez over at first. Olsen is holding him on the bag. Smith comes home. Ball swung on high in the air to right. Back is Rosario at the edge of the track. Makes the catch. Hard hit ball by Gideon off the bat. That looked destined for over the right field wall. But it falls short. Scoreless second work by Zach Smith. And we have all goose eggs on the board through 2 on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Welcome back to the Stade Canac here in Quebec City. We go to the top of the 3rd inning, scoreless between the Capitales and the Otters on a lovely Friday evening from Quebec City. Leading off the top of the 3rd inning, the catcher Dakota Phillips for the Otters. Lefty batter facing the righty pitcher Ramirez, who fires outside for a ball. 2-0 to Phillips. I do have good news. I got the Yacker Tech up with giving me the velocity, spin rate, vertical break, anything really I ever wanted on how fast the baseball's going and where it's going and how as it sails outside for Ramirez. 3-0 on a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. And it is good news, at least for me, in miles per hour, not kilometers per hour, but shout out to Daphne for offering to help do the conversions if it wasn't kilometers per hour. 3-0 sails outside to Phillips, takes a 4-pitch walk. So it brings up Kona Quiggle. The walks are the problem right now for Ruben Ramirez. Yeah, it is already his 5th walk here in the top of the 3rd inning. The Otters, though, with just 1 hit by Skinder. They threaten, though, with all these walks in the first 2 innings, trying to convert here in the 3rd. Kona Quiggle, lefty batter, takes the first pitch outside from Ramirez, 1-0. The 1-0 is outside 2-0. There's very loud noise. I think it's a fire alarm going off. Yeah, it's a fire alarm. And the home plate umpire has stopped play. Security is walking around. Fans are looking around without little concern. Security is walking quicker down the 3rd base line. It's just a loud horn, but in the background I can hear that classic beeping of a fire alarm going out. It is incredibly loud. The players are still standing on the field, but it's certainly way too loud to keep on playing until someone shuts off the fire alarm. There it is, now it's off. Cappy had walked out onto the field, the Capitales mascot, and he had put his hands up. I think he was going to try to entertain the crowd if it... Oh no, now it's back on again. Ramirez is going to throw the 1-1, and Quiggle swings and misses 1-2. And now it's stopped again, and right after the home plate umpire, Yves Lamontange, wanted to say something with Vandy McCauley, and now he will go have a word with the the Otters skipper. Hopefully the fire alarm is done going off. You always think you see it all when you go to a baseball game, and then there's always something new, like a Canadian fire alarm going off. When I first heard it, I thought someone might just be blaring a really loud horn, but then it kept on going, and credit to Ramirez and Quiggle, who kept on going for a pitch, too, before our home plate umpires stopped proceeding. So it's now 1-2 to Quiggle. This herky-jerk at bat, it sails outside 2-2. Probably hurts the pitcher more on Ruben Ramirez, who's already struggled with his rhythm today with 5 walks. Got a good minute delay with a fire alarm going off. The 2-2 is fouled away 3-2. So I guess the fire alarms are different in Canada. We had a fire truck go by us as we're waiting outside the hotel early this afternoon. And I remarked to some people around us that the sirens were the same here in Canada. Well, you go to Europe, they sound quite different than in North America. The 2-2 to Quiggle is chopped right base side and foul. Quiggle stays alive with 1 on and nobody out here in the top of the third. We're scoreless. But I guess the fire alarms, or at least here in Quebec, sound a little bit different. Just a high horn. Maybe a little bit louder, but less abrasive. So the 2-2 is inside 3-2. Less on and off, just one loud high tone. Kind of like more like a tornado siren if you're from the Midwest, you're used to. It sounds like it's all for good now, and there doesn't actually appear to be a fire. The payoff pitch sails outside for ball 4 to Quiggle. That is walk number 6 by Ruben Ramirez. My goodness. Surprised we haven't seen the pitching coach, Cody Clark, come out to talk with Ramirez with the struggles with command he's having. It's a little bit similar to what the issue was for John Vargas yesterday for the Otters. He wasn't missing wildly or having a lot of 4-pitch walks, though the setting did start with a 4-pitch walk to Phillips. For the most part, he's been competitive, but when he's gotten to 2-2, 3-2 counts, he's just been throwing ball 4 a lot. Not been able to find that finishing pitch, and the batters have been patient. As Olsen tried to lay down a bunt down the first base line, but it goes foul. This will be Ramirez's 60th pitch coming up. He's thrown 33 strikes and 59 total pitches, so that's not great for sure, as the 0-1 misses inside 1-1. Still more strikes than balls, though. But his pitch count with all these walks is also working its way up there, and that's a concern for the Capitales, whose bullpen has been their Achilles heel so far this season. The 1-1 from Ramirez. Swung on and hit high in the air to left field. Back is Fernandez at the track. Looking up, it is gone! Jacob Olsen. Bonjour to the crowd. A 3-0 lead for the Otters in the top of the third. Bonjour, bonjour. The Otters are in town here in Quebec. They take a 3-0 lead. Back-to-back walks to start the third inning, and then Jacob Olsen making Ruben Ramirez pay with a 3-run blast into the trees over the left field wall. It's Olsen's second home run of the season. He had a solo blast on Tuesday against the Jackals. As Viola takes a strike, it's 1-1. Viola swings, pops one up on the infield over as the shortstop. Crowell under it, makes the catch, and there is the first out of the third. So it brings up Jarrell McDade, the DH, with one away. He takes the first pitch strike from Ramirez, whose body language is frustrated, would be the term. He looks like on the mound after giving up the 3-run home run. McDade swings, drives one into center. Over to his left is Lacroix. All the way into left center, makes the catch, 2 away. A 3-run blast by Jacob Olson, who has still been finding his way at the plate, gives the Otters a 3-0 lead here in the top of the third. Olson with just 5 hits on the season, but had that home run in the 9th inning on Tuesday against the Jackals in the blowout win for the Otters, and now a 3-run blast into the trees that cover most of left field out past the wall. The 0-1 is low to Rosario, 1-1. Comes the 1-1. Outside 2-1. For somewhat a pitcher that's struggling with command like Ramirez is, he's bound to just leave some over the center of the plate. And Olson was ready for what he did. The 2-1, breaking ball high, 3-1. It's the Otters' 17th home run of the season. It's third in the Frontier League. The 3-1 is lined up the middle and through for a base hit for Brian Rosario. Rosario, who struggled at the plate for most of the start of the season, has had a really good week on the road. A base hit here after he had an RBI double yesterday. Scored 5 runs with New Jersey. He's reached both times today. A walk and a base hit now. He's aboard with 2 outs as George Khalil comes to the plate here in the top of the third. 3-0 lead for the Otters over the Capitales, courtesy of a 3-run blast. Rosario goes, pitch inside. Third and to second is high of Crowell. The shortstop has to jump up and get it, and Rosario's in safely. The speed demon has been all over the bases this week on the road. The Jackals catchers struggled, and Rosario really took advantage with 5 stolen bases. He already has 2 today. 0-1 to Khalil. Swings, pops it up, right side. Over is Profar, the first baseman. It gets out of play and into the picnic tables down the first base line. The Otters hit the ball all over the yard first 2 games in New Jersey on Tuesday and Wednesday, but did not have a home run on Thursday. Today, in a much bigger ballpark, a 3-run blast by Jacob Olson to take the lead. The 0-2, Khalil swings, grounds one through past Kyle Crowell and into left field. Rosario is sent, hustling, the throw is cut off. Diving into second is Khalil, safely ahead of the throw. He advances on the throw into second. It's an RBI base hit for George Khalil, and the Australian has an RBI base hit here north of the border. Now Rosario's stolen base pays off, gets a base hit, steals second, and then with his speed, especially with 2 outs going on contact, speeding around and easily scoring on second on a ball that I think for most other players he would have been out by a mile. So it is 4-0 Evansville. They'll bring up Noah Myers, third time to the plate. He takes the first pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. Just the second hit for Khalil this week, but it's a big one. 4-0 Otters. The 1-0 by Myers. Popped up left side, out of play. Look out in the blue seats. Bounces off one and ricochets right to a fan. Good 10 rows up. It makes a lovely catch, and is being waved at approvingly by the Canadian fans. 1-1 to Myers, who has 2 walks today. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Oh no. Here comes the fire alarm again. Well, it was brief this time. And the Otters' bats right now are just too much on fire. There's a lot of smoke coming off the Otters' bats. It's setting off the fire alarm. 1-2 to Myers inside, 2-2. 4 runs here for the Otters in the top of the third, and this all happened with 3 fire alarms now going off. So 3 fire alarms and 4 Otters runs. The 2-2 is low, and a full count here to Myers, who's trying to work his 3rd walk. Ramirez at the belt, winds and throws. Myers, swings and pops it up foul and out of play. So if Myers is able to work a walk, this would not only be his third straight walk, but it'd be his third straight walk with the count full. And Evansville is working up the pitch count on Ruben Ramirez. 75 pitches. Payoff coming to Myers, but step off by Ramirez, tossed back to second, and they nearly got Khalil. He was lurking well off the bag. Crowell raced over to cover, and Khalil just barely got back in time. Otters with 4 across here in the third, looking for more. Payoff to Myers is at the knees for strike 3. The Otters, though, played 4 in the third. 3 fire alarms went off, but it was the Otters with all the smoke. A 3-run home run by Jacob Olson. Brian Rosario coming around to score on a George Khalil RBI base hit, and it's Evansville in front. 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the third on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. The Otters' bats are hot north of the border. They lead 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the third inning over the Quebec Capitales on a beautiful Friday night for baseball. Zach Smith getting some run support back on the bump for the bottom of the third. His first pitch to Jordan Saquette. The catcher misses outside for a ball. Comes the 1-0 from Smith. Low, check swing. Saquette held up. 2-0, 4-run third. There was 3 separate fire alarms that went off. One of them lasting a good 2 minutes in the third inning. And in the middle of it all, the Otters with 4 runs. There comes the 2-0. Ground ball, left side, gloved by the third baseman Viola. Throw across the diamond a little bit high, but Olson leaping up makes the catch and gets back down on the first base bag in plenty of time. 1 away. Well, Jacob Olson's 3-run home run giving the Otters a 3-0 lead in the top of the first inning. And every Otters home run is brought to you by McMahon Exterminating. Remember, who can help with all your pest control needs? McMahon can. So with 1 away here in the bottom of the third, it's back to the top of the order for Quebec. And Marc-Antoine Lebreau takes the first pitch low for a ball. Lefty batter facing the righty Smith, who's held the Capitales to just 1 hit, has 2 walks. Pitch sails outside for a strike 1-1. Smith winds and throws. Bunt shown, a good one down the third base line, but it rolls foul. Good velocity tonight from Zach Smith, who's a hard thrower. Seeing about 91 to 93 on the gun. And he has length. He went 8 innings in his last outing against the Trois-Rivières Eagles. 8 shutout innings, and certainly the best start for any Otter pitcher this season. 1-2 coming to LeBlanc. The pitch is low, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 4-0 Evansville in front after a 4-run third. 3-run home run by Olsen. Rosario base hit, stolen base, and ran around from second to score on a George Khalil RBI base hit. The speed from Rosario has been really fun to watch this week as LeBlanc fouls one off. Remains 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 outside in a full count. The control, which was not an issue at all for Smith his first 2 games. A little bit more today with 2 walks, and he's fallen behind a few counts. Just 1 strikeout for a guy that struck out 7 batters apiece in his first 2 starts. Here comes the payoff. It's high for ball 4. LeBlanc works a walk with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. There's the 3rd walk by Smith. So I'll bring up TJ White, the 3rd baseman, with 1 on and 1 out. One of the defending champions on this Capitales squad, White. He takes the first pitch outside from Smith. Capitales took down the Schaumburg Boomers in the Frontier League Championship Series, winning it right here in Quebec. Our first season in the league. The 1-0 is at the knees for a strike, 1-1. Boomers, of course, beat the Otters in the Frontier League West Wild Card game to eliminate the Otters last season. Comes the 1-1. Check swing on a pitch low. Did he go around? No, says first base umpire Tanya Millette. Great to see a female umpire here in this 3-person officiating crew tonight for the Frontier League. 2-1 to White. Beautiful breaking ball right on the outside corner for a strike at 79 miles per hour from Smith. And now you imagine he can go back to his fastball to try to finish off White and get his 2nd strikeout. We'll see what Zach Smith does here. High set, nods, kicks, and throws. It is a breaking ball. Chop to Khalil, could be 2. Gloves it, toss to Skinder at second to first. Oh, he airmails it over the head of Olsen. The Otters will get 1 out. I don't know what happened with Skinder there. Normally very accurate. And threw it way over the head of Olsen. And it, luckily, where the dugout is, it's really very unusually not at all far behind the line. It's really not down the line at all. That ball might have gone to the dugout in most ballparks, but instead it just bounced off the protective netting in front of the stands. So one in LeBlanc, trade places over at first base with 2 outs now as Glode swings at the first pitch, drives it into left. Back is Myers to make the catch. A running catch for Noah Myers along the warning track. Puts up a couple hands on the wall as he made the long running catch. And Zach Smith walking off relieved and thankful to Noah Myers, who's made 2 great catches in left field. So the Otters, through 3, lead here in Quebec City, 4-0 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Welcome back to the Stade Connect. We start the top of the 4th inning. New pitcher into the ball game for the Quebec Capitales as Ethan Skinder leading things off for the Otters in the top of the 4th inning. Skinder is ahead 2-0. First pitch was up in the head. He had to dive out of the way. The 2-0 is popped up by Skinder and out of play. So Ruben Ramirez, whose pitch count was up in the mid-70s, allowing 4 in the 3rd, including a 3-run home run by Olsen. His day is done. And Kyle Mott, a righty, is the new pitcher for the Capitales. The 2-1 is a breaking ball at the knees for a strike, 2-2. Just really good patience by the Otters against the starter Ramirez tonight. It was really good in his first outing. The 2-2 is chopped to the third baseman. Nice play by White to glove it. Throw across the diamond is in time. Scooped off the artificial turf by Jeremy Profar. Nice play by White over at the hot corner. Took a tough hop. Good field, good throw. One away. I'll bring up Dakota Phillips with 1 out to face the new pitcher, Mott. Mott, former UNC Tar Heel, who graduated in 2022. Bullpen guy with the Tar Heels. Pitched 40 in the 3rd. Chapel Hill in 2022. Now in his first year here with Quebec. Pitched last season with the Boulders and High Point as well in the Atlantic League. First pitch popped up by Phillips and left, and Fernandez under it makes the catch. Just like that, 2 quick outs for Mott here in the top of the 4th. Bring up Kona Quiggle, the center fielder, with 2 outs and nobody on. The Otters, the 4 runs in the 3rd, but it really started with all the walks that they worked against Ruben Ramirez, frustrating him, building up the pitch count. In the box score, you're going to see the 3-run home run by Olsen, and of course that was huge, but the numerous walks that multiple different Otters worked and long at bats to build up the pitch count from Ramirez, tire him, frustrate him, and then leave a few pitches over the plate that the Otters make him pay for. Kona Quiggle takes the first pitch strike. Ended up being 6 walks by Ramirez, all before a run came across to score. 2 other runs that scored on the 3-run home run by Olsen were walks. Quiggle takes outside, 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. The Otters lead 4-0. Here comes the 1-1. It's inside, 2-1. Quiggle has 2 of those 6 walks. He walked both times in the 1st and the 3rd and came around to score on the 3-run home run by Olsen. Sun is almost set here in Quebec City. The 2-1, swing and a miss, 2-2. It sets late. You're way up north. Close to 8:30 time. Final rays are just on the left field sides. Otherwise, we're in shadows now. The 2-2 is low and a full count to Kona Quiggle. Lights are on. They're not really into effect yet. Payoff coming to the center fielder. Winds and throws. Inside for ball 4. It's a 3-walk day for Kona Quiggle here in Canada. Keeps the 4th going. The Otters have been relentless at the plate again today after an off day yesterday. Letting 20 runs the first 2 days in New Jersey. Just 3 yesterday. They're back at it so far today here in Quebec. Jacob Olsen to the plate. The hero with the 3-run home run in the 3rd. He takes a first pitch strike at the knees. 0-1. Quiggle at first with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. 4-0 Otters, and they have quieted down a really rowdy and strong Capitales crowd. There's not that much to cheer about so far today. Here comes the 0-1. It's high and away, 1-1. Part of the challenge of last night's game was how small the crowd was in Patterson. BYOE, I like to call it, bring your own energy game. Those can be difficult, especially during a road trip in the last game, as swung on, popped up into center. Back as the shortstop, Crowell, and he makes the catch. And Olsen is retired. The Otters go scoreless in the top of the fourth, but they lead 4-0. Go to the bottom of the fourth inning on the Otters Digital Network and simulcast on Flow Sports. Back for the bottom of the fourth inning from Quebec City. The Otters have a 4-0 lead over the home team, the Capitales, on this Friday night from the capital of the Quebec province, Quebec City. The shadows of the skyline of both downtown Quebec City and Old Town Quebec as well. Zach Smith on the bump here for the bottom of the fourth, facing Jeremy Profar, the first baseman. He's behind 2-0 to start this at bat. Smith winds and throws. Profar swings. Sounds like a broken bat. Popped up into shallow center. Coming in is Quiggle to make a running catch. Well, those broken bat flares are scary. And Quiggle got a great read on it, running way in to make the catch. So one away here in the bottom of the fourth for Zach Smith, who's worked through some traffic, but without any damage. He's had traffic on the base pass in every inning so far. He's not been as dominant as he was his first two outings. But all that matters is how many runs you allow on the scoreboard. And right now, it's still a 0. Kyle Crowell, the shortstop, took a first pitch low. 1-0 to the righty shortstop. Smith winds and throws. Breaking ball outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Just 1 hit so far for the Capitales, and I honestly am a little confused why it was ruled a hit. Here comes the 2-0. It's at the knees for a strike, 2-1. It was a ground ball to the shortstop, Khalil, and he gloved it and tried to throw to second and then looked and realized he didn't have any play and just ate it. Should be a fielder's choice, I believe. The 2-1 is popped up right side. 3 Otters over. Who wants it? It's the first baseman, Olsen, to make the basket catch. Nice play by Jacob Olsen, who already has a 3-run home run. Ball tailing off down the right field line. Looked like it was going to go fair at first and then nearly in the seats. Olsen drifting over right along the wall to make a basket catch for the second out of the inning. Excellent defense by the Otters, disciplined at the plate. In one of your more challenging games, just travel-wise to play, Evansville has been incredibly sharp. Jonathan Lacroix, the center fielder, lefty batter, watches a first pitch strike from Zach Smith. The 0-1 is low and outside, 1-1. So I honestly think right now that the Otters should have no hits allowed on the board. I don't understand why that ball to Khalil was ruled a hit, because I think if he had gloved it and actually thrown to first, he would have easily got the out. 1-1 is fouled away, 1-2. Now there's some technicalities in scoring, but that's at least a personal opinion. Maybe in the rule book, it has to go down as a base hit. The 1-2 pitch swung on, a soft chopper to second. Charging in is Skinner, gloves it, throws to first. Did he get him? Yes. A high, slow chopper, not an easy play for Skinner. He had to charge it hard and just beat Lacroix by half a step. First 1-2-3 inning for Evansville and Zach Smith. We're through 4 from the Canuck. 4-0. The Otters in front on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Four complete here from the Stade Canuck in Quebec City, Quebec Province, Canada. Beautiful Friday evening for baseball. A huge crowd's been here all afternoon as the Otters lead 4-0. Troy Viola leading things off here in the top of the 5th inning. The Otters have held the Capitales to just one hit. The Otters' patience at the plate is paid off with 6 walks, a 3-run home run by Jacob Olsen, the highlight of the scoring. Comes the 0-1, breaking ball missing inside, 1-1. A lot of really cool aspects to this ballpark, and hoping to have some more time tomorrow once I'm a little more settled in to walk around and see more of the Stade Canuck. 1-1, catches the outside corner, 1-2 to Viola. It's one of many ballparks in the Frontier League with such great history. Of course, Bosse Field, Hinchliffe, where we just were in New Jersey, has some incredible history. So does the Stade Canuck. The 1-2, breaking ball, inside corner, strike 3 call. That's the good stuff from Kyle Mott. Right in the inside corner of the plate at just 79 miles per hour, 1 away. Otters lead 4-0 here in the top of the 5th. 1 down and nobody on. And Jarrell McDade, the DH, who's 0 for 2 today, comes to the plate. First pitch to the righty, McDade is on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Mentioned briefly Jarrell McDade along with Frank Podkol, who was also just today added to the Otters roster. Comes the 0-1 pitch. McDade swings and fouls one off, 0-2. The Otters without a few top players, including Jeffrey Baez and Omar Reyes. couldn't make the trip here to Canada. So McDade and Potkill signed to fill in, and not an easy situation, but pretty impressive as McDade takes one high, 1-2. These guys were all the way out in Utah in spring training for a Pioneer League team who just started their season. They start a few weeks later, the Pioneer League, independent baseball in the kind of Rocky Mountains area, Utah, Montana, Idaho. 1-2 to McDade, swing and a miss, 2 away. So he's over 3 today, but they drove all the way from Utah over with actually the starting catcher tonight for the Capitales, Jordan Siquet, who was just signed at the beginning of the week. So they've been here for a few days to adjust, but drove all the way over. We're staying in an Airbnb until the Otters got in town, and just meeting all the Otters players and coaches right before the game as the first pitch swung on by Rosario. A leaping catch by David Glode, the second baseman, for the third out of the inning. What a play. Glode leaping into the air to rob Rosario of his second hit, and the Otters go rapidly down in order in the top of the 5th. And at the bottom of the 5th inning, it's 4-0 Evansville here from Quebec City on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bonjour again from Quebec City. Go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 4-0 lead for the Evansville Otters over the home team, the Quebec Capitales, the opener of a 3-game series and the Otters' lone Canadian trip. Zach Smith back on the bump. First pitch swung on and fouled away by Adon Fernandez, the left fielder, here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 4 shutout innings so far for Zach Smith on the bump. Might have heard, if you're listening on the Otters Digital Network, the crowd was going nuts in between the half inning. This comes the 0-1. Fernandez swings and misses 0-2. Earlier it was shirts a couple half innings ago, which I found out, just like in the U.S., there's nothing that gets people excited more than a free shirt, except for apparently free pizza, which they were handing out. And they weren't tossing it out either. They were the workers for the Capitales, the 0-2 lookouts inside, 1 and 2. Fernandez has to back out of the way. The workers were handing the free pizzas to the people that they liked the most, or the people being the loudest. So it was causing all the fans to go berserk to try to win a full free pizza. That needs to be done at more sporting events. The 1-2 outside, 2 and 2. I don't know if they do that again tomorrow. I might start making some noise. I'd take a free pizza. Had a Canadian pizza before the game, a slice. It was pretty solid. 2-2 is found straight back, and Fernandez stays alive. Well, maybe more doughy, the Canadian pizza, than normal. Now, ballpark pizza's not always its best. It's excellent at Bossy Field, of course, but it was really solid here today. Poutine, though, is on the menu for me tomorrow. Comes the 2-2 from Smith. Breaking ball just missed inside. Smith thought it was strike 3. Tech, though, agrees with our home plate umpire. Gives La Montagne. It's a full count to Fernandez. Pitch from Smith. Swung on it high in the air to left field. Should be playable for Myers. Drifting over near the foul line under it and makes the grab, one away. That's 5 straight retired by Zach Smith. So brings up the DH Justin Gideon with one away and nobody on here in the bottom of the 5th. 4-0 the Otters lead. 4 runs all in the 3rd. Lefty batter Gideon flew out his first time to the plate. Smith winds and throws. A first pitch strike to Gideon. 0-1. So looking forward to trying poutine, which is, they don't have hot dogs and hamburgers here at the ballpark in Canada. The 1-0 bounces low and in the dirt, 2-0. Poutine, though, it's definitely comfort food. Fries, it sounds like, basically lathered with anything you want on top of a bed of fries. So excited to try it out. We will have definitely a review on the air either tomorrow or Sunday. The 2-0 popped up by Gideon out of play down the third base line. That is the Canadian ballpark specialty. And I mentioned if there's 8 strikeouts, there's free poutine to the fans. 5 right now for the Capitales. There is a strikeout for Smith. Swing and a miss by Gideon. It's just strikeout number 2 for Smith. He's done it with flyouts for the most part today, but he has his second out here of the 5th. Second strikeout for Smith, and he settled into his best work here in the middle innings. He has retired 6 Capitales in a row after having to fend off some traffic on the bases through the first 3 innings. His control's gotten better, and only 1 hit, which I still don't think should have been ruled as a base hit, but here we are. Jordan Saquette, a catcher, stands in and takes a first pitch strike. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, chopped up the middle. Oh, it hits off the leg of Smith and rolls into right field. Wow. Looks like he's okay, and he pointed Smith and apologized to Ethan Skinder, who was ready to try to go after that ball up the middle, working his way over to his left, and when it deflected off the leg of Smith, Skinder was headed the wrong way. So that is going to go down as a base hit, and that's the right ruling. So it's hard now to be too upset about that ruling back in the first, now that there is a real hit on the board for Saquette, though tough luck for Smith. Bounced off his side of his leg and deflects into right. 89 miles per hour off the bat, too. Smith barely even flinched. So back to the top of the order. Marc-Antoine Lebleu, the batter. Took a first pitch outside, 1-0 count. Smith winds and throws. Bounces low away from Phillips, who then picks it up and slips, falling back down onto the artificial turf. Might be a little dewy as it gets colder. Well, the cleats just gave out for Dakota Phillips. Not sure he would have been able to catch Saquette anyways, so Saquette in scoring position at second. A 2-0 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Smith on the right side of the rubber, peeks back at second and throws home. It's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. 92 miles per hour from Zach Smith. The velocity is still high, and it was the exact same way last Saturday in his start against the Trois-Rivières Eagles back at Bossy. The 2-1 swung on, driven into left. Back is Myers, drifting towards the foul line at the edge of the warning track. Makes the catch. The Capitales have put some good swings on balls, but they haven't left the yard, and Noah Myers has played an excellent left field. 5 scoreless by Zach Smith and the Otters lead 4-0 on the Otters Digital Network and simulcast on Flow Sports. On the banks of the St. Lawrence River, the Stade Canac here in Quebec City. Move to the top of the 6th inning. The Otters looking to take the series opener on a beautiful Friday night. They lead 4-0 over the defending Frontier League champions, the Quebec Capitales. Second road series of the year for the Otters here in their first road trip of the season. George Khalil will lead off for the Otters. Look out. He shows bunt, pulls it back as one is near his feet. He hops out of the way. 4 runs on 4 hits and no errors for the Otters. No runs on 2 hits and no errors for the Capitales. Kyle Mott, the pitcher for the Capitales, as the 1-0 catches the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Otters trace Ruben Ramirez after 3 when he gave up the 4-run third inning. Mott has been excellent since. 2 innings yet to give up a hit. 1-1, swung on by Khalil. Hit high in the air to left center. Over is Lacroix. Makes the catch, 1 away. Back to the top of the order, and the Canadian native Noah Myers with the Otters leading here 4-0 in the top of the 6th. Myers 2 walks and a strikeout today. Got the chance to chat with Noah earlier this afternoon, as that's going to do it for Kyle Mott. I'm surprised. He is a reliever, so he doesn't go that long. He'd only thrown 22 pitches, though, in 2 1/3 excellent innings. He will come off the field. Patrick Scalabrini, was running on out to pull him out. So a new arm already is coming into the game for Quebec. We'll talk about Noah Myers on the other side. You're listening to Otters Baseball on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and simulcast on Flow Sports. second reliever of the game for the Quebec Capitales in here in the top of the sixth with one out and nobody on. Interesting time for a move for Patrick Salabrini, the manager for the Capitales. He goes to a lefty here to face the top of the order and the lefty Noah Myers here in the top of the sixth inning. Myers takes a first pitch strike. Pearson winds and throws, and Myers takes high for a ball, 1-1. Pearson making already his seventh outing of the season, a 3.38 ERA. Only just 2 earned runs in those 5 1/3. 1-1 count to the Canadian native Noah Myers. Pitch, beautiful breaking ball, but it just missed low. 2 balls and 1 strike. So got the chance to chat with Noah on the right over to the ballpark this afternoon. Native of Tilbury, Ontario, not too far from Detroit, Windsor, Canada, the big city nearby. The 2-1 misses low, 3-1, and he said it was only about 20 minutes away from the U.S., so he would actually go over to the States a lot, and you could even do it based financially on how the American dollar was doing compared to the Canadian dollar when he would cross the line. The 3-1 catches the outside corner, and a full count to Myers, 3-2. But primarily, he stated he would cross over the border a lot to America, so very used to the U.S., and stayed in Ontario. This is actually his first time being in another province in Canada. The 3-2 was chopped right side and foul. He got a nice welcome, though, when we were crossing through border security at 3 in the morning last night. Or I guess this morning. That's a scary thought. Got a welcome home from the Canadian border agents. His first time here in the French part of Canada. Payoff to Myers, and he fouls it off the end of the bat to stay alive. This is Myers' 4th plate appearance, and in all of them he has worked full counts and then fouled a couple pitches off. Been 6, 7 plus pitch at bats. Another payoff to Myers, and again he slices it foul third base side. Look out in the seats. That one just sailed out of the ballpark. Hard hit ball down the third base line. Myers still knew a little bit of French. He knew more French with our Uber driver than most of the other players in the car as he flares one foul and into the seats and dropped by a couple fans and falls to someone just standing on the concourse that wasn't even looking for it. He takes it, and he gives it to a young fan. It's a good move. Everyone has been delightfully nice here in Canada. Another payoff. Myers chops it up the middle over to his left to the second baseman. Glowed to first in time for the out. 1 down. 2 down make it. First out for the lefty Pearson. So with 2 away, it brings up the second baseman, Ethan Skinder, with the bases empty here on the top of the 6th. Otters leading 4-0. Appreciate everyone tuning in tonight on both the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. With first time this year, we've been able to work out the connection to get this broadcast simulcast up on Flow Sports on the road. Skinder takes the first pitch outside. The 1-0 is high 2-0. Shout out to the Seagulls watching in Indianapolis. Matt Siegel sending in a nice message. The brother of Bobby Siegel, the great hitting coach for the Otters. So hello to the Seagulls in Indy. The 2-0 swung on, chopped third base side, and just goes foul. If you're tuning in, feel free on the Otters Digital Network to drop where you're listening, and you might get a shout out. And if you have any really exciting Memorial Day weekend plans, feel free to share as well. There is no Memorial Day exactly here in Canada, though. On Canada Day, they partially honor the Canadian military as the 2-1 is swung on and missed 2-2. It is, though, one of those first weekends of summer here in Canada, just like it is in the States. But everyone does have to go back to work on Monday. 2-2 coming to Skinder. The pitch is inside for ball 3. And the Otters just continue to be incredibly patient at the plate tonight. working up pitch count after pitch count on a Capitales squad that doesn't have much pitching depth. Big reason that the defending champs are just 4-7 on the season. 4 games back of first in the East. Swing and a miss by Skinder at the 3-2, and he strikes out. Otters go down in order in the 6th. They lead 4-0. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Zach Smith back on the bump for the Otters, trying to go 6 scoreless against the Capitales. Another masterful night for the righty from Katy, Texas. He will face 2-3-4 here for the Capitales in the bottom of the 6th as the Otters lead 4-0 here in Quebec City. Smith winds and throws, and it's fouled away by White, out of play. The sun is set here in Quebec City. The lights are on and into full effect. See the lights of the Quebec City skyline turning on both in left field, which is old Quebec, and in right field, which is the new Quebec downtown. The 0-1 is high 1-1. What an incredibly beautiful city this is. The St. Lawrence River is magnificent. There's multiple other bodies of water flowing into the St. Lawrence River. Here comes the 1-1. It's hit high in the air to left field. Back is Myers. It is gone. T.J. White, a blast over the left field fence and deep into the trees, 418 feet off the bat of T.J. White, a second-year Capitale. And that is the first earned run Zach Smith has given up, but you got to tip your cap to Mr. Smith. I mean, my goodness, what a start to the season. 19 straight innings without allowing an earned run. It ends here in the 6th, but all it is a solo home run, and the Otters still lead 4-1. I mentioned it the other night, something that Indiana baseball head coach Jeff Mercer would say to me all the time and say to his team, solo home runs don't lose you games. Never do. I guess that's not true. They never do. They could. But they rarely do, as David Gloat is the batter, and he's taking the first 2 pitches outside 2-0. In this case, it's not. It's just 1 run. You're still only down 3, but a 2 or 3 run home run certainly changes the game a lot more. Comes the 2-0. It's at the knees, 2-1. If you're hitting enough, if you're hitting to some point of average, say you're scoring 4 runs, a solo home run's not going to lose you the game. It's a wise saying. The 2-1 is popped up left side. Viola is racing after it, but it's going to land into the seats. 2-2. Otters bullpen guys are standing up, milling around, but no one appears to be stretching or throwing. It's a little bit chilly. Temperature's now in the mid-60s, so mostly just staying warm. Everyone is in this Otters dugout. It's nothing but confidence for Zach Smith. And time is called. There is pitch clock violation. Just a warning here on Zach Smith. It's been nice not to see that numerous times after yesterday's game felt really just interrupted at times by Tim McCaffrey, who was the home plate umpire in New Jersey yesterday, called 6 different pitch violations. The 2-2 is just low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. There was also multiple stoppages in yesterday's game for music that they were playing too loud over the speakers. Today we've had fire alarms delay the game, but that was just in one inning as Glode chops it foul. It was kind of an omen. Fire alarm went off in the 3rd inning here at the Stade Canuck for about a minute. Kona Quiggle was at bat. It went off a 2nd time during his at bat. Quickly turned off. Quiggle worked a walk, and then with 2 on, as here comes the payoff, it swung on and chopped through the gap between 1st and 2nd and into right field. Glode has a base hit. Still nobody out here in the 6th, and with that, all of a sudden the Otters bullpen is in motion. Sweatshirts coming off. Jake Green, the bullpen catcher for the night, running down behind the plates. Arms getting loosened. Now there's a little bit more concern about Smith. The solo home run and the leadoff and the no-out base hits. First pitch to Jeremy Profar, the first baseman, sails outside. Smith with 83 pitches now, just to finish on that 5th inning, or the 3rd inning, so all the fire alarms go off, 2 of them. When Quiggle was up, Olsen, the next batter, hits the 3-run home run. The 1-0 catches the outside corner, 1-1. The Otters would add 1 more run. Rosario had a base hit, stole 2nd, and Khalil drove him home with a base hit. And then during the last batter at the plate, the 3rd fire alarm went off for maybe 10 seconds. A fire alarm 4-run inning in the 3rd. Who would have thunk? 1-1 sails low for a ball, and it's 2-1. Solo blast by TJ White has put the Capitales on the board here in the bottom of the 6th. They trail by 3, have a runner on with nobody out. Smith had been excellent the last couple innings, but running into trouble here. The 2-1 is sliced foul, 2-2. With the crowd as full as it is tonight and engaged in the game, too, this is where it can get dangerous as a pitcher. The crowd can start to overtake you and affect your emotions and really feel like a challenging road atmosphere, which is what they've done an incredible job building here in Quebec City. As Smith steps off and throws back to first, Glode back in safely. It's the opposite problem of yesterday when the Otters were playing in front of 146 fans. At least that was the final totals for number of fans and the box score that showed up at the stadium last night in Hinchliffe in New Jersey. That was probably being nice. The 2-2 chopped up the middle. Backhand by Skinder. Steps on the second base. Back to first. In time. Double play. Ethan Skinder flashing the leather. The glove. Forward momentum really took him right to the second base bag, and the throw to first for the 4-3 double play. Just like that, it clears the bases. There's 2 outs, and Zach Smith just needs 1 more out, and he can get out of the 6th inning with his name still in line for a win and a 3-run lead for the Otters. Kyle Corral, the shortstop, the batter, with 2 outs and nobody on. Smith on the right side of the rubber comes home for a strike at the letters, 0-1. Smith kicks and throws. It's sprayed foul down the line. At least I think it is, yes. Well, foul. The fans, I have a great angle. I'm right behind home plate, way up at the top of the stands on a little press box here at the Stade Canuck. The fans down the right field line thought it was gone, and it was Did leave the fence, but well to the right of the right field foul pole. So 0-2 to Crowell, who's 0 for 2 today. Otters leading 4-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. 0-2 from Smith. Swing and a miss. Crowell chases one in the dirt. It is the 3rd strikeout for Zach Smith. He does give up his first earned run of the season, but as he leaves in the 6th, he's in line for the win after 6 very solid innings from the righty from Katy, Texas. The Otters lead 4-1. We go to the 7th. Back in a moment on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. We're going back to Quebec City. 3 more to play on this Friday night. The party just rolls on. The Otters leading the Capitales 4-1, but they're having a blast tonight here at the Stade Canuck, and it's been a lot of fun to be right in the middle of it. A lot of singing, fun promotions. It's been a blast so far, and excited for 2 more days here in Quebec City. 4-1, Otters in front in the top of the 7th. The batter is Dakota Phillips. Lefty catcher, who's 0 for 2 today with a walk, came around to score on the Olsen home run in the 3rd. 1-1 is the count as it sails high to Phillips. 2 balls and 1 strike. Otters looking to get back to their winning ways, start a new win streak. They had an 8-game win streak, spoiled last night in New Jersey. So here comes the 2-1. It's inside 3-1. Going on the road north to try to take down the defending champions in what is just a brutal schedule built in, playing a night game in New Jersey, then an 8-hour overnight bus ride, and then play tonight here in Quebec as Phillips takes outside for ball 4. A brutal schedule, maybe the most brutal the Otters will have all year just in terms of one day. Tuesday's game back home at Bossy is going to be really challenging too, as it'll be an 18-hour bus ride from Sunday night to Monday evening back home, and then the Otters play Tuesday evening. But how well and disciplined the Otters have stuck to Otter ball, as you might call it. Just played solid baseball with the challenging conditions and certainly the uncertainty and unusualness of being in a new country where people are speaking a different language. They've been terrific. Conan Quiggle, the batter, took a first pitch strike. Here comes the 0-1. It's swung on, popped up, left side over his TJ White in the left field foul territory. Makes the catch about 10 strides to the left of the third base bag. And there's 1 away. It's the first time Quiggles got out. He had walked his first 3 times at the plate. Bring up Jacob Olsen. He's the hero today. A 3-run home run for the first baseman. As time is going to be called, and out comes Patrick Scalabrini going to make another pitching change in the middle of an inning with a starter or a pitcher doing well. He is. He's calling for a righty. Interesting. Well, Patrick Scalabrini took out the first guy out of the bullpen for the Capitales, Kyle Mott, after 2 1/3 without allowing a hit. Kenny Pearson has done the same through an inning, and that's all he's going to see. Well, it worked the first time, taking Mott out at the right time and bringing in a guy for an effective inning. So Scalabrini's going to try to keep that going here in the top of the 7th. There's 1 out with 1 on. The Otters are leading 4-1. We'll be right back on the other side here from the Snot Canuck on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Welcome back to the Stade Canuck. 1 on and 1 out. New pitcher into the game, Marcus Encarnacion for the Capitales here in the top of the 7th. A 4-1 lead for the Otters. Jacob Olsen, the first baseman, takes the first pitch strike from Encarnacion, the third pitcher out of the bullpen for Patrick Scalabrini tonight. The 0-1 on the inside corner for a strike. 0-2 to Olsen. Scalabrini, a righty, or Encarnacion, excuse me, a righty from the Dominican Republic. In his second season with the Capitales, still listed as a rookie. The 0-2 popped up by Olsen high in the air in center. The crowd taking a few steps in. Now finally the ball comes down from the stratosphere. 2 away. Both teams with 4 hits apiece, but the walk's a big difference. The Otters have been really patient at the plate tonight. And it's the 3-run home run by Olsen as well. Solo home runs don't typically win you games, but the multi-home runs often do win you games. And that could be the case tonight as Troy Viola, the third baseman, fouls the first pitch back he sees. Evansville has worked 8 walks tonight and struck out just 6 times, compared to the Capitales, who have just 3 walks. 1 from Encarnacion is a pretty slider on the inside corner, getting some oohs and ahs from the crowd. Viola takes for a strike, 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's fouled straight back. Encarnacion out of the stretch. Sets at the belt, winds and throws. Viola fights one off, a jam shot down the third base line and foul. Two hours into baseball here in Quebec City. 4-1 lead for the Otters in the top of the 2nd. The 0-2 by Olaf pops up a flare into left. Back is Crow, the shortstop. Under it to make the grab, and the side retired. 4-1, the Otters still lead. It's stretch time here at the Stade Canuck on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Hunter Cloak on the bump to start the bottom of the 7th inning for the Otters. Out of the bullpen, Zach Smith stayed complete. 6 excellent innings for Smith, limiting the Capitales to just 4 hits and 1 run. It was a solo home run in the 6th. 1-0 sails outside from Cloak to Jonathan Lacroix, the center fielder. 4-1 lead for the Otters. Pass to the bullpen to try to finish things. The 2-0. The knees for a strike, 2-1. Safe situation. The setup man has been Kevin Davis in the 8th for the Otters, and it's been Jake Polancic, who's 3 for 3 on saves in the 9th. The 2-1, a swing and a miss by Lacroix. 2-2. This is Cloak's first time pitching away from home. Hasn't pitched yet on the road trip. Comes the 2-2 from the southpaw, slice foul. He's been excellent, as is almost the entire Otters bullpen. 4 appearances for Cloak, 6 1/3 innings pitched. No runs allowed, just 2 walks, 10 strikeouts in the 6 1/3, and just 6 hits. Oh, the 2-2 is inside. Stumbling out of the way is Lacroix to avoid getting hit on the hands. Payoff pitch from Hunter Cloak. Lunged down and fouled away. 4 hits apiece for both sides, but the Otters, the lead in the run category, or on the scoreboard here in Quebec, it's labeled as P, so I believe it's point days. The 3-2 is popped up into left. The crowd's excited, but it's playable for Myers a few steps from the track. Makes the catch 1 away. New pitcher-catcher battery with Hunter Cloak on the mound and Dakota Phillips remaining behind the plate. This pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call at 812-475-9000, 812-475-9000. 1 out, nobody on. For Adon Fernandez, the left fielder, as he watches the first pitch outside from Cloak. It's working very quickly. Winds and throws inside, 2-0. Fernandez 0 for 1 today with a walk. The 2-0 is high, and it's 3-0. Oak part of this incredible Otters bullpen to start this season. They saw 32 1/3 straight inning scoreless end on Wednesday in New Jersey as the 3-0 catches the inside corner, 3-1. The throw from Phillips gets away from Cloak and bounces all the way to Khalil at short, but there's no one on. It doesn't matter. 3-1 from Cloak, popped up, and to shallow right. Back is Skinder, the second baseman, under it, and makes the grab. 2 away. Brian Rosario holding up his hands up in the air, saying, I'm not going to take it. Gives a little high five to Skinder. Good communication, 2 away. So this Otters bullpen, 32 1/3 innings straight scoreless. It ended on Wednesday with a solo home run, but there's still only 2 runs been given up by this bullpen all year long. Even yesterday when the Otters, John Vargas did not have his best start on the bump, the bullpen came in and kept the game close and gave the Otters a chance in the ninth. John Beamer and Leone De La Cruz pitched well. It's the 0-1 to Justin Gideon, the DH, is fouled away. Actually, it was a 1-0, so now 1 ball and 1 strike to Gideon with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th. The Otters leading 4-1 for their first ever win here in Quebec. The 1-1, look out, and hit Gideon. A breaking ball that just didn't break back to the plate quick enough, and it clipped, might have just even clipped Gideon's jersey. It didn't really fully get him. I'd say it grazed off his jersey. So Gideon hit, he's aboard. It brings up Jordan Saquette, the catcher, who is 1 for 2 today with a base hit. Native of Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Just his 3rd professional game today as he fouls one away down the line. 0-1. Part of the struggles for the Capitales, they've had some injuries. They've had a couple players with some visa problems getting into the country. And catcher has been especially a problem, with Saquette just signed and now starting a catcher today. Just his 3rd game here in Quebec, signed this week. The 0-1 right down the middle for a strike. 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 from Cloak. Swing and a miss. Saquette, a half-hearted swing and a pitch low in the zone, and the Otters bullpen continues to thrive. Hunter Cloak works a 7th scoreless. Go to the 8th. The Otters need 6 more outs here in Quebec City. They lead 4-1 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bonjour from Quebec City. It is a 4-1 lead for the Otters over the Quebec Capitales as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Otters looking for a little bit more insurance. They have not blown a lead when leading in the 5th inning or later. In fact, only one time they've blown a lead all year, and that was just yesterday against the Jackals. And New Jersey tied it early in that game in the 3rd inning. Leading off the top of the 8th is Jarrell McDade, the DH, making his debut today for the Otters. Last played professionally with the Lexington Legends last year in the Atlantic League as the 1-0 is fouled away 1-1. 3-run home run by Jacob Olson, the key big hit in this ballgame. The 1-1 is fouled straight back by McDade, 1-2. Olson, a 3-run blast in the 3rd inning. Brian Rosario would follow later in the inning with a base hit, stole second for his 9th stolen base of the season. The 1-2, McDade lunges again and gets a piece of it to stay alive. Then George Khalil roped one into left, and Rosario used his speed to throw home and score. Here comes the 1-2. McDade again fouls it off. Appreciate all the messages where everyone's listening tonight. Sounds like some great Memorial Day weekend activities. Listening at a campfire, that sounds lovely. The 1-2, shot foul again. Big Cat tuning in. Big Cat's corner. Down the 3rd base line at Bosse Field. Excited to have the first place Otters back at Bosse Field next Tuesday. Evansville 3-game set at home with Windy City starting next Tuesday. They're game up with Gateway right now. The 1-2 is a strike at the knees. Pretty pitch from Encarnacion, freezing McDade, and free poutine is still a possibility here at Quebec, where the man out on his wooden seat out on the scoreboard in right is putting another K on the board. So 1 away as it brings up Brian Rosario, the right fielder. They need 8 strikeouts here in Quebec for free poutine. Rosario swings, chops it right side. Charging hard as the first baseman, Profar back to the pitcher, Encarnacion, whose step on the bag is late. Brian Rosario's speed, again shining it has all week long on this road trip. Hustling down the line, a high chopper. Profar, the first baseman, had to race in to glove it. And Encarnacion could not get down the line quick enough to catch it and step on the bag. Infield base hit for Rosario. He has a 2-hit day today. Brings up Khalil with 1 on and 1 out. There's 7 strikeouts now for the Capitales. If they get 1 more, there's free poutine for the fans. So there's 2 things on the line here. The Otters trying to get to double digits in the win column today, go to 10-3. Take the first game of this series, and the Capitales fans hoping for 1 more strikeout and free poutine. First pitch to Khalil outside, 1-0. Khalil swings, drives one into center. LaCroix back a few steps from the track, makes the catch, 2 away. Checking on the out-of-town scoreboard in the Frontier League. Gateway 1 game back of the Otters for first place now. The Grizzlies continuing their terrific start to the season. They're up 5-1 on Juliet at home in just outside of St. Louis. Gateway at Grizzlies Park. 5-1 lead in the top of the 5th over Juliet. So if both teams win tonight, Otters will stay a game up on the Grizzlies. 2 outs, 1 on, and top of the order, and Myers coming to the plate. Capitales pitcher over to check on Rosario, who's back in safely. We'll see if Rosario goes for stolen base number 3 here as Myers takes the first pitch outside, 1-0. Encarnacion looking for his 5th out coming out of the bullpen. He's the 3rd arm out of the pen for the Capitales. The 1-0 bounces away from the catcher Sikat down the 3rd base line, and Rosario's not going to need to steal second. He'll go down as a pass ball. No, not even a throw. And now he's in scoring position. Otters 4, Capitales 1 here in the top of the 8th. Night has descended here in Quebec City. Mid-60s, pleasant evening, not a lot of wind. 2-0, Rosario's going for third. The throw down to third is not in time. Brian Rosario got an incredible jump. And there was no chance for Saquette, how good the throw was, that he was going to catch him. The instincts, the speed, it's all there on the bases for Brian Rosario. He has his 3rd stolen base of the game. He has his 10th of the season. And it's his 7th of this road trip. The 2-1 is sliced into right field, and it's through a base hit. Rosario will walk home from third, and the Otters have insurance in the 8th. RBI base hit for Noah Myers, but a tip of the cap to Brian Rosario, who earns it on the base pass, advancing to second on a pass ball and stealing third to make it an easy score home on the base hit from Myers. So it's 5-1. The Otters with their first run here in the 8th since the 3rd inning when they scored their first 4 of the game. First pitch swung on and lofted high in the air by Skinder to left. This ball is off the base of the wall. Skinder hustling into second safely with a double. Ethan Skinder hit that on a rope. It was a low line drive. It didn't get a lot of air, but just ripped down the line, hit right off the base of the wall, and he hustled around ahead of a throw by Fernandez. 100 miles per hour off the bat of Ethan Skinder. So he has a double. Another 2-hit day for Ethan Skinder, and the Otters are threatening to break things open here in the 8th. Myers at third, Skinder at second, and Dakota Phillips to the plate. Encarnacion winds and throws outside to Phillips. Skinder, back-to-back 2-hit days. Didn't have a 2-hit day yet on the season, but off to a great start on this road trip. Line drive by Phillips down the right field line. Fair ball. 1 run will score. Hustling around is Myers. There'll be no throw. It's a 2-run base hit by Dakota Phillips, and the Otters blow things open in the 8th. They lead 7-1. That was right in on the hands of Dakota Phillips on the inside of the plate. Just pulled it right down the line. A hot shot, and Profar couldn't get the glove out in time. It bounced right in front of him and down the line. First pitch swung on by Quiggle, and this ball is down and rolling to the wall. Hustling around from third is Phillips. He is set. Here comes the throw home. It's wide of the plate, and Phillips is safe, beating the tag. The throw was a little bit down the third base line, which actually was a good throw from left, and it was nearly on the money. It looks like I thought Phillips was going to be safe for sure. The throw was perfect. Really where you want to place it, a little bit down the line, but Phillips just snuck under the tag of Saquette. And it's all Otters here in the 8th. A double by Quiggle, and things have really unraveled in a matter of moments here for the Capitales, and Encarnacion on the bump. All with 2 outs as well. Olsen takes outside. It is 7-1. Now it's 8-1 Otters. Our stats and our scoreboard guy can't keep up. 1-0 is low. 2-0. You can just feel it from Encarnacion. Rosario going around to third. The base hit by Myers. All of a sudden, Skinder hits a double off the wall. Phillips on the very next pitch, an RBI base hit down the line, scoring both runs. And then Quiggle on the very next pitch, a double into the left center gap. 4-run inning for the Otters. Their second 4-run inning, and it's 8-1. Ground ball up the middle is the shortstop Crowley. Throws to first, and Olsen is retired. 4 more runs come across in the 8th for the Otters. Rosario had a base hit. He scored on a Myers base hit. Ethan Skinder an RBI double. Dakota Phillips a 2 RBI base hit. And Kona Quiggle topped it up with an RBI base hit of his own. A 4-run eighth. It's all Otters tonight in Quebec. They lead 8-1 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Back at the Stade Canuck on a Friday night where it's all Otters. They lead 8-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Kevin Davis on the bump here for Evansville. Otters need 6 more outs. First 2 pitches to the Capitales leadoff batter. Top of the order, Mark Anthony Lebreu here in the top of the 8th. Both missing, so 2-0 count to the lefty. Davis was warming up in the pen during the top half of the inning as the 2-0 sails high. 3-0, traditional setup man for the Otters. So he stays in for the 8th, even though the Otters have blown things open. We'll see if Evansville decides to use Jake Polancic, who worked the save for the Otters on Wednesday. The 3-0 catches the inside corner for a strike, 3-1. Otters have blown out so many teams so much this year, though. They haven't needed Polancic very much. Has 3 saves and 4 appearances. Now a 7-run ball game. 3-1 coming from big Kevin Davis. Sails inside on the inside corner for a strike, 3-2. Big number 66, Kevin Davis, 6'9", 225 pounds, and a big red beard to boot. Comes the payoff from KD. Swung on, popped up left side, and out of play. Kevin Davis is almost as tall as the more popular KD. His 3-2 catches, misses on the inside for ball 4. Davis thought it was a strike and was strolling off the mound. Walks back disappointed. Ball 4 to Lebreu. Lead off here in the 8th. I shouldn't say that Kevin Durant is more popular than Kevin Davis. I'm not sure anyone on the Otters roster is more popular than Kevin Davis. The more known KD, Kevin Durant is 6'10", Kevin Davis is 6'9", so he's almost there. About the same height. Both terrific athletes. TJ White takes a first pitch strike, 0-1. Kevin Durant is a first ballot Hall of Famer, though. Kevin Davis has a little more work to get there. 0-1 coming from the 6'9" righty. Misses outside, 1-1. 1-1 to White, who had a solo home run in the 6th. It's Quebec's only run in this ballgame. 8-1, all Otters tonight. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Half swing and a pitch up in the zone. TJ White ran around 1-2. Davis peeking over his right shoulder, sets at the belt, odds, kicks, and throws. Inside, 2-2. Davis in 5 appearances, 5 2/3, has allowed 1 earned run. It was the run that ended the Otters bullpen scoreless streak. Solo home run for the Jackals on Wednesday. 2-2. Outside in a full count, 3-2. It's a strikeout for Davis, 9 5 2/3 with the lanky build and high heat. Deems him very effective. We're in 95-96 tonight right now. Comes the payoff. Outside for ball 4. He's throwing up to 95, but he's walked 2 batters, both on full counts. A little bit of trouble here for Davis. 2 on and nobody out with David Glode, the second baseman, coming to the plate. Eight to 1, the Otters lead. A 4-run third, a 4-run 8th. And Zach Smith in line for the win. 6 excellent innings for Zach Smith again today. He's in line to go to 3-0 on the year. First pitch misses inside to Glode, 1-0. Two on with nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. The Otters lead by 7. 1-0 from Davis. On the outside corner, 1-1. Elsewhere in the Frontier League tonight, mentioned the Grizzlies chasing the Otters atop the Frontier League West standings. A game back up 5-2 at home. Washington has really surprised me this week. They have had a horrible week. Comes the 1-1. Swinging and a miss, 1-2. They look so good to start the year at Bosse Field with pitching and hitting. So much experience back from their division championship team last year. They are in danger of dropping their 6th game in a row, trailing 6-4 in the bottom of the 9th at home against Tri-City. I don't know what's happened. The 1-2 popped up left side. Myers giving chase, but well out of play, and it's on to the tennis courts, which are down the left field line. There's tennis courts down the left field line. Plenty of people playing early this afternoon. And out past right field, soccer fields. Cool athletic complex here. Just outside of the old city, Quebec, down the hill. 1-2 from Davis, found straight back. Elsewhere, Lake Erie has lost to Sussex County 3-2. I was told, and a source I will not identify, that there was bears outside the stadium at Sussex County today, and both teams, Lake Erie, the source came from Lake Erie, I'll say that they were delayed and told not to get to the ballpark right away because there was bears outside the stadium that they had to wait to go away. The 1-2 misses inside, falls away from the Dakota Phillips, and both runners are going to advance. That pitch just bounced away from Phillips and ended up rolling all the way to the backstop. So 2 in scoring position. The Otters leading by 7 here in the bottom of the 8th. LeBrew at 3rd and White at 2nd. It's a 2-2 count to Glode, the second baseman. Kevin Davis winds and throws. Glode flares one into right center. It's a blue base hit. 1 run will score. LeBrew around from 3rd. The throw is cut off. A 2 RBI base hit for David Glode, the second baseman. And the lead's cut to 5. Not a good start to the 8th inning for Kevin Davis. 2 walks, both on full counts, and the first he thought was strike 3. He was walking off the mound, called a ball 4, and since then things have turned sour. The walk of White, a base hit by Glode to score 2. And Quebec trying to make this a ball game again. It's 8-3. The Otters pitching coach, Max Peterson, out to have a word with Kevin Davis and the rest of the Otters infield. Evansville does have a righty now warming in the Otters bullpen. James Crick is getting loose. Otters are down a couple pitchers here north of the border. Bullpen is not as deep, though it's well rested, as Evansville starters have really just the whole season done great jobs going deep into games. 5-6 innings feels almost guaranteed. So meaning done, and Profar steps to the plate, swings to the first pitch, and pops it up on the infield. Skinder is under it on the edge of the grass and makes the catch. Big first out to the inning on 1 pitch. Right, exactly what the doctor ordered for Kevin Davis. So Glode still at first, 1 out. That brings up Kroll. Still a 5-run lead for the Otters. Plenty of insurance. Just have to make sure, if you're Kevin Davis and the Otters, that things don't become too out of hand in the inning. The 4 insurance runs in the 8th helping with that. First pitch to Crowell misses outside. 1-0. He's 0 for 3 today. Anyways, to finish at Sussex County, I was told, those were reports that were never confirmed, that there was bears outside of Sussex County Stadium, which is up in the hills in New Jersey, near the Pennsylvania border. 1-0 swung on and missed 1-1. And that it delayed players getting into the ballpark, but it was played in Sussex County, won 3-2, and they're in first place in the East standings. We've had fire alarms here, bears in Sussex County. What's next? Here comes the 1-1, outside 2-1. New Jersey has beaten Ottawa tonight, 4-2. Back-to-back good pitching days for the Jackals. And Windy City leads Florence 2-1 in the top of the 8th in Crestmont. The Owls are playing good baseball this week. The 2-1, swing and a miss. 2-2 to Crowell. Here in Quebec City, it's the Otters 8, the Capitales 3. Otters looking to take the opener, and with a win tonight, they'll be the first team to double-digit wins in the Frontier League. Here's the 2-2. Just missed outside on a full count. Excellent crowd we've talked about all evening. It's getting late, past 9:30. And they've stuck around all game, been into the ball game, had a great time. Really, really impressed by the crowd tonight here in Quebec City. Here comes the payoff. It's outside for ball 4. Davis is not happy. Yakertek did say it missed, just barely outside. Davis takes off his hat, walking around the end of the mound, kicks some invisible dirt off an all-artificial turf rubber. Just trying to reset. Get some outs here for the Otters. Mac Peterson trusting Davis to get out of another jam. 2 runs across, and with the walk of Crowell, runners at first and second for Jonathan Lacroix, the center fielder, who takes a first pitch strike. Crick continuing to throw in the Otters' pen. 3 walks in the inning by Davis. Here comes the 0-1. Fouled straight back, 0-2. Another great aspect here in Quebec is their mascot, Cappy, who is a lion, has been just terrific. He's been a lot of fun all night, really into the ball game. He's kissed a fan, he's taken selfies, he's flashed a fan with his stomach. He's done everything. The 0-2 swing and a miss. 95 miles per hour from Kevin Davis, blown by Lacroix. And the second out of the 8th. Big second out. It was still a 5-run lead. Just one more out needed for Davis, and you can walk back to the dugout with just 2 runs across and still a comfortable lead for the Otters. Adon Fernandez, the left fielder, the batter, with 2 on and 2 outs. Davis winds and throws. It's high for a ball, 1-0. Game 2 tomorrow will be the same time, 7 o'clock local time here in Quebec, 6 o'clock Central Time in Evansville. The 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0. Fernandez was taking all the way. Looked like Glode thought about stealing, started and then stopped. And I don't know if the steal was on or Fernandez just thought that Glode was going and not to swing, but it works anyways. He's had 2-0. Cappy the Lion leading the fans and clapping as a swing and a miss by Fernandez. Couldn't catch up with that fastball. 94 from Davis. Davis sets at the chest, kicks and throws. There's a breaking ball at the letters for a strike. 2-2. Cappy the Lion is he thinks it's a ball. He's on top of the Otters dugout, pointing at the umpire, gesturing in the air, pointing, waving in disgust, turning his head at the umpire. The 2-2 misses outside in a full count. Now Cappy the Lion does like the call. He's pointing at the umpire he's approving. He says it was low, though he's wrong. It was outside. Full count here to Davis. A walk to load the bases would not be preferable. Payoff pitch. Comes home and fouled straight back. Fernandez just got a piece of the bottom of the baseball. Otters 8 runs on 10 hits and no errors. The Capitales 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors. This has turned into a lengthy ball game. We're getting close to 2:45. The Otters have not played a 3-hour ball game yet this year. Another payoff, fouled, third base side. Another pitch up in the zone that Fernandez fights off. Looking for his first hit today. The Otters' longest game of the season, 2 hours and 53 minutes, which was just on Tuesday against New Jersey. This might top that. Here's another payoff. It's high for ball 4. So that loads the bases, the 4th walk for Kevin Davis, and Max Peterson on out to make a pitching change. Well, the Capitales with a couple swings here could make this a ball game again. They trail by 5, but the bases are loaded with 2 outs, and James Crick coming on in to try to get the Otters out of this jam in the 8th. 8-3, Otters lead. Bases loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Welcome back to the Stade Canuck, where the Atlanta Braves chop is going now. I don't know. It's happening. The arms are waving forward like I'm at an Atlanta Braves game, but I'm in Quebec City. Bases are loaded. James Crick is in with 2 outs. He winds and fires before the fans and the music had even stopped. A first pitch strike to Justin Gideon. He got a quick pitch Gideon, who I'm not sure was fully ready. Kind of smart from Crick. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Otters leading by 5, but one swing could change everything here. Lefty Gideon facing the righty Quick. Swing and a miss by Gideon. Just like that, 0-2, and Gideon has barely even settled in. Crick, excellent this season, yet to give up a run. In 4 appearances and 6 innings pitched, he's not even given up a hit yet. 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. The 0-2 from Crick. Swung on and driven into right field. Back is Rosario. It is gone. A grand slam by Justin Gideon has made it a 1-run ball game here in Quebec. 370 feet, a line drive off the bat of Gideon just escaped over the left field wall. One of those low line drives, 110 miles per hour off the bat. The launch angle wasn't high, and it just sailed over the left field wall and over the head of Rosario. So all of a sudden, it is 8-7. Wow. Jordan Sickett, the catcher, is the batter with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. The Otters holding on. They still lead 8-7 as Sickett fouls it straight back. What a wild game this has been. It fell over after a 4-run 8th. The Otters led by 7, but a 6-run 8th inning. The last thing you wanted has all of a sudden put the Otters on thin ice to win this opener. And this crowd, which has stuck around, going nuts. The 0-1 outside, 1-1. Polancic, the Otters closer, who has worked 3 saves this season, 3 for 3 in save opportunities, including a 4-out and a 5-out save opportunity, is now warming. 1-1, missing outside, 2-1. Now the strike zone was small. It's been small all game by our home plate umpire, Yves Lamontagne. Both pitchers have thrown a lot of walks on both sides. Kevin Davis ended up walking 4 batters in the inning. Crick comes in ahead 0-2 to Gideon before he launches a home run with the left field wall. A comebacker up the middle. Diving is Skinder. He can't get there. It's into center field. Sickett has a base hit, and the Capitales have batted around in the 8th. The Otters just need an out to somehow get out of this inning. Started with 2 walks, base hit for Glode, scored 2. Davis got a pop out, then walked Crowell. Then got Lacroix to struck out, but walked another batter to load the bases. Gideon came in at a grand slam to cut the lead to 1. And now Sickett with a base hit. The go-ahead run at the plate, and Antoine Lebras, who swings and misses at the first pitch high in the zone, 0-1. Marc-Antoine Lebras, returning Capitale, 0 for 2 today with 2 walks. 0-1 coming from Crick. Shows bunt and lays a good one down the third base line, but foul. Viola scoops it up before it bounces any further down the third base line, but it clearly went foul. Well, again, Crick to 2 strikes. He had an 0-2 count. He got in 2 really quick strikes to Gideon, and looked like really before Gideon settled in, he might get the out and get out of the jam. But 0-2 pitch, Gideon with a grand slam to right to electrify this Friday night crowd as we are starting to go deep into this Quebec City night. 0-2 to Lebras. The pitch swung on and chopped to Skinner. This should do it. Gloves it, throws to first in time for the 3rd out of the inning. A 4-run eighth for the Otters, and the Capitales put 6 up in the bottom of the 8th. A grand slam by Justin Gideon, and we have a ball game as we go to the 9th inning. 8-7, the Otters lead. Don't go anywhere on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. To the 9th from Quebec City, where the Otters holding on to an 8-7 lead. What a wild ball game it's been on a Friday night here in Quebec City. Troy Viola will lead things off for the Otters here in the top of the 9th. Sweet Caroline playing in between half innings, and it's still going here at the Stade Canuck as pitcher and catcher are going to have a word. New pitcher in for Quebec. It's actually their closer they're going to use here to try to keep it a 1-run game, and all the momentum on the side of the Capitales. Frank Moscatiello, native of Rocky Point, New York, who was the closer last season as well for the Capitales. Back in that role this year. 5 games, 1 save, 1-1. He's allowed 1 run and 4 1/3. It's been a little bit bumpy to start the year. I was talking to the Capitales play-by-play broadcaster, Madam, said similar to last year, he settled in more over the course of this season. So he's trying to keep it a 1-run ball game as Viola fouls one back 0-2. Polancic continuing to throw in the Otters bullpen. Their closer, who's 3 for 3 in save opportunities this year, coming in the 9th. And pitch clock violation on Moscatiello. Just a warning, this is the last weekend of this. Starting Tuesday, the pitch clock comes into full effect with the warnings functioning as violations. Here comes the 0-2. Swung on and driven into right. Over is LeBreau to make a running catch. Good read by LeBreau off the bat. Hard hit ball by Viola. 1 away in the 9th. Brings up Jarrell McDay, the DH, who's 0 for 4 today in his Otter debut. Quebec will have the heart of the order coming up in the 9th. 2, 3, 4, White, Glode, and Profar. White has a solo home run today. McDade takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. 8-7. The Otters holding on. 6 runs by the Capitales in the bottom of the 8th, including a grand slam, bringing them back from a 7-run deficit. The 0-1 high and outside, 1-1. The Otters played it 4 in the 8th to seemingly put the ball game away. This great atmosphere, no doubt, had a factor Well, the Otters bullpen for the first time all season really struggling. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. This has been just really an incredible atmosphere, and I've not been lucky enough to hit too many independent league ballparks yet. Obviously, we'll get over half the teams in the Frontier League by the end of the season, but I don't know if anything is going to top this atmosphere tonight in Quebec. This has been incredible. The 1-2, swing and a miss, 2 away. They love Mascatiello too here in Quebec. This is his 3rd season with the Capitales. Well familiar Indie League journeyman who's been across a bunch of different indie ball teams all the way since 2018. Graduate from St. Thomas Aquinas. St. Thomas Aquinas College, not the high school in New York. Batter is Rosario, takes the first pitch high for Mascatiello, looking for a 1-2-3 ninth and setting us up for high drama in the bottom half. First pitch to, or the 1-0 to Rosario, I should say, fouled away, 1-1. A lot of fans would have left. Late on a Friday night, a 7-run deficit for the home team. The Capitales fans stuck around, and they have been rewarded. The 1-1 on the inside corner, 1-2. Another pitch clock violation on Mascatiello, which in the 9th, this is almost where I'd like them to just take it away. And obviously you can't have a double standard in innings, but this is where you love the drama and you're fine with it being drawn out a little extra. So Mascatiello resets, kicks and throws. Rosario chops it foul. And this is going to be certainly one of the hardest atmospheres the Otters will play in all year, and it has affected them. There's no doubt about it. A bullpen that allowed only 2 runs through the first 12 games of the season allows 6 in 1 inning. 1-2, swing and a miss. Mascatiello sends the Otters down in order to the delight of the crowd. To the bottom of the 9th, it's a 1-run ball game, and the Canadian himself, Jake Polancic, into the game to try to close it out in what's been a wild one. This should be fun. Don't go anywhere. Back in a minute on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the 9th on a late night in Quebec City. The Evansville Otters leading 8-7 over the Quebec Capitales, trying to hold on and take the first game in front of a raucous crowd here at the Stade Canuck. The defending champions with a huge fan base. The Capitales have been around in a variety of leagues for a long time. It's been an incredible atmosphere tonight, and a 6-run 8th to make it a 1-run ball game has woken this crowd up. So Jake Polancic on the mound. He's a Canadian native from Langley, British Columbia, outside of Vancouver, so opposite side of the country. 4 appearances on the season, 3 1/3 innings pitched. He has 3 saves, 3 for 3 in his save appearances. He's allowed just 1 hit in those 5 total innings pitched, has walked 3 and struck out 7 batters. Leading things off, it's the righty TJ White, the third baseman. Polancic kicks and throws a first pitch inside and high to White, 1-0. TJ White has not gotten out today. 2 walks, a home run, and a hit. The 1-0 on the outside corner, 1-1 to White. Feels like all of Polancic's appearances have been a little nervy. Some guys have reached base, but Polancic has been so gutsy just getting out of jams. The 1-1 is hit high in the air to left field. Back is Quiggle looking up. It's off the top of the wall and gone! We're tied at 8 in the bottom of the 9th. A 7-run comeback by the Capitales. Now they're going to try to walk it off in the bottom of the 9th. The Otters have not played an extra inning game this season. That has to be the goal now. White bounced that one right off the top of the wall as Glow takes inside, 1-0. Second home run for White of the day. What a day. 3 for 3. And the game-tying home run that bounced right off the top of the left center wall. Game of inches. The 1-0 is popped up high in the air into shallow center. Back is Khalil, the shortstop, under it. Makes the catch, 1 away. If we do go to the 10th, the runner at second rule in effect this year in the Frontier League. So each team would start with the runner at second to start the inning. The 11th is a sudden death tiebreaker that's confusing, and I'll explain it if we get to that point. So Jeremy Profar, first baseman, stands in to face Polancic, and he takes the first pitch strike. 1 away. We're tied at 8 in the bottom of the 9th. The 0-1 from Polancic, swing and a miss, 0-2. Good bounce back so far from Polancic after giving up his first run of the season. A solo blast by White to tie us at 8. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Profar lunging at a pitch out of the zone. How about that from Polancic? 1-2-3, sending down a big slugger in Profar in 3 pitches. Needs one more out to send us to the 10th. Kyle Crowell, the shortstop, to the plate. With the bases empty, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. We are all tied at 8. We've almost hit the 3-hour mark here in Quebec. First pitch is inside to Crowell, 1-0. The shortstop today is 0 for 3 with a walk. Polancic needing one more out to send us to the 10th inning. 7 unanswered by the Capitales. The 1-0 outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The Otters scored 4 in the 3rd, 4 in the 8th to go up 8-1. And Quebec has launched a massive comeback with 6 in the 8th. The pitch is outside, 3-0 to Crowell. 6 in the 8th, the solo home run here in the 9th to tie us at 8 runs apiece, and what would be an incredibly painful loss for the Otters. The 3-0 on the outside corner, 3-1. For as incredibly challenging as I talked about early in the game, this game was, and how impressed I was by the Otters for, on little sleep and tough travel in the midst of a long road trip, how well they played this whole game. The 3-1 is swung on, popped up, high in the air to center. Back is Quiggle at the track, leaping, it's gone! Crowell, the walk-off, and the Capitales mount an incredible comeback to stun the Otters, 9-8. Quiggle gave it everything he had, leaped at the wall, and a ball on a still night that just kept on carrying, and it was just outside of his grasp. Well, hard to imagine there's going to be a more heartbreaking loss on the season for the Otters. What a wild ball game tonight. 9-8 is the final score in front of an incredible crowd tonight here at Quebec City that never gave up on the Capitales, and it felt like overwhelmed the Otters in the last 2 innings. They're still going. They've got an MC on the field. The Lion is down there. Oh, we're doing fireworks, aren't we? I didn't realize that was coming too. Well, if there wasn't enough fireworks on the field, I would say there has been enough. They're going to do fireworks as well. So we're going to get off the air quickly here before it gets too loud. A walk-off home run by Kyle Crowell, the shortstop in the bottom of the 9th. Quebec, an incredible comeback as they played 6 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th to walk off the Otters, who led 8-1 going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Heartbreak tonight in Quebec City for Evansville. They dropped their 2nd straight, the first time they've dropped back-to-back games this season. Fall to 9-4, and the Capitales improved to 5-7. We will have more baseball for you tomorrow. Evansville will look to bounce back tomorrow, Saturday, same time, first pitch, 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock local time here in Quebec City. The Otters will hand the ball to Austin Gossman, and the Capitales will send out a righty pitcher as well. So the final score here, 9-8. The Capitales get the stunning victory over the Otters with 8 unanswered runs in the last 2 innings. Final totals, 9 runs on 9 hits, no errors for the Capitales, 8 runs on 9 hits, no errors for the Otters. Incredible atmosphere tonight, and looking forward to doing it again tomorrow as the Otters will look to even up the series. Final score, Quebec 9, Evansville 8, as the Capitales walk things off in the bottom of the 9th from Quebec City. Have a great rest of your Friday night. Good night from Quebec City as the Capitales win 9-8 on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Good night, everyone.